the father of the late, great Russell Batiste. David Batiste, welcome to the Jake Feinberg Show.
Welcome, Jake. As my son said, get on down. Get on down.
Get on down. You know, when someone looks back at this interview in 20 years or 30 or 50 years, what do you want them to know most about who your son was as a father, as a musician, and as a human being?
Well, yeah, first of all, he was a father. He had 2 sons and a daughter. And one of his sons has 2 beautiful daughters. He's half Mexican because his mother is from Mexico City. I have a beautiful daughter from Paris because her mother is from France, from Paris, France, Nariel. And she has 2 children. So I have 2 great-grandchildren, a granddaughter and 2 great-grandchildren from Nariel, 2 great-granddaughters from Darrell. Christopher is another one of his sons, another wonderful young man. So Russell have a family. He's a human being. Besides being the super drummer and everything else, you know, he's grandpa. He's dad. You know.
And that meant, how much did that mean to him?
The world. The world to him, man. He in fact he bought my granddaughter Sharice a set of drums, put them up for Christmas and set them up. She had those historic set of wood drums that was played by Russell Batiste. Nobody else has touched them but Russell first. And then she brought those drums out on the Father's Day gig that we did. And my little grandson, Dawson, he played on them. And Sharice, she played on them. So that's how much he cared about his grandkids. He'd get them for dad, for mine, you know.
He was already a grandpa.
Yeah, he was a
grandpa. I mean, can you just talk personally? We've connected on such a deep level. We did a couple of interviews, and how are you doing? And I think it's important to talk. You are far from the only person who has lost somebody younger than them that you're a family with, and I just wanted you to talk about how you personally are coping with his loss.
Well, I'm fucked up, man. You know? I am. Yeah, but I'm getting around with it because he would want me to be hard. You know, he get off, you know, I want you to feel that, Pops. Because him and he played, I had an adult touch football team for guys over 18. And we played high school football rules. It wasn't a street ball and everything else. It was regular high school rules. But it was
flag.
Yeah. And Damon. So they knew as their father, as a quarterback, I was able to get licked, knocked down, but I was able to drop dimes too. I dropped the dime in Russell's hand and Damon's hand. So
like as a 45-yarder over the top.
Man, yeah.
Holy cow!
You got to get Damon to tell you about it.
I will. Yeah.
Damon,
I want to go back to this though. You get knocked down, you get back up, and that's what Russell is telling you.
Yeah, to do that now, you know, to be myself, knocked down, don't have too much, don't pity myself that much, you know, because the same God that I was telling Russell that to believe in, you know, he was saying, well, man, if you believe in that, then I'm all right. I'm good, and I wait to see you.
When you are doing as good as you can, what are the things that give you peace? I know you talked to me about taking the motorcycle out.
Yeah.
How about playing music? I mean, is that something that is
all
healing?
The time? That's all the time. Russell, original music. So now I'm creating more original music, and then I'm going to, along with his brothers, do his music.
Right.
Because it's brand new. Nobody ever heard. And then when they do hear it, it's head bobbing, it's dancing, it's grooving. Some of the music, if you want, you know, it's almost, he got office music where you can play that office
music.
Then he got music you could play at the Hulk prize fight or wrestle. You know, he had intense music like that. You know, that you could bring out the Hulk or somebody. You know, And so
People be changing colors and stuff.
oh man,
No, but so
Yes.
that stuff has been sitting, or was he just did the stuff just come out of him?
it would just come out of my son. My son was born a note. He was born a musical note.
Wow,
And
I dig.
Yeah, and I'm not, because since he plays all these instruments, Russell was a saxophone player when he went into St. Aug from J.T. Meisler School, for his junior elementary school. He went in as a saxophone player. He didn't go in as a drummer, although he had played the drums as a kid. Now,
Right.
this was, was ninth grade, going to St. Aug. He went in as a horn, because he could read music as a horn player. So that answers my.
He could also arrange
My son was so far ahead of me, man.
Right,
Jesus
right.
Christ. Oh,
Maybe part of this lesson is that in order to really ease some pain, you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone, grow as much as you can as a musician, even if you fall on your face.
yeah. Well, I have
He
to
was
do that.
eons ahead of everybody.
Oh man. So the Jazz Fest was
Yeah.
very successful. We had, as the papers say, a massive crowd.
Talk about it.
Oh man, it was massive to come out to celebrate the Batiste brothers tribute to Russell, because we did two of Russell's songs. My Name is Nori and Get On Down, and then All About the Family. Russell's on the Batiste, all the Freeze album. That's Russell Batiste on the Freeze album with the Batiste brothers. So in a sense, when you're supporting the Batiste, you're supporting Russell. You got to listen to All About the Family, the beautiful song my brother Paul wrote. And we helped produce it, because we would go out and do gigs to raise money to go in the studio. So Russell Batiste helped produce all of the Batiste brothers' music, from Starlight to Freeze, the whole Batiste brothers album, that part of it. Paul Batiste wrote and arranged the music. And Russell helped arrange some of that musical, by the way, and the Freeze album.
Do you feel that there are so many talented people in this family on so many different levels? Do you feel respected by your brothers? Is there a message you want to give to other members of your family about respect?
Well, I see, my band, David Batiste and the Gladiators, started out as, it wasn't a family band.
It wasn't.
It was David Batiste and the Gladiators.
Ratcliffe.
Right. And then gradually, as these great musicians that were in my band left, they were actually teaching my brothers how to play instruments. And boy, did my brothers catch on good, because the cats they was learning from was good. Dap, Edgar Peterson, Gerald Cheatham on bass, just other great guys. And then we would draw other great artists, Reginald Houston, who plays with Charmaine Neville, when he was in high school.
Can't believe you just dropped Reggie Houston's name.
Reggie,
Wow.
I would have to go get Reggie and pretend that we were going to practice, because his mother didn't want him to go play in the bar room. So help me God. I had to go live for Reggie to come out and play in some of the places.
So
we made our first $15 a piece gig at a gig. I think Reginald may have gotten that gig, a place called the De-Icer across from the airport.
I'll get confirmation on that. The De-Icer?
The De-Icer in Kenner. We played our first gig, and the band was so good until we made $15 a piece. This had to be 1963 or something, but Jesus Christ. $15 is like $100.
That's good. That's good.
But
pay.
Reggie knew Houston and I and my brother Paul shared that. My brother Michael hadn't started playing yet. We had a different player. I think Edgar was playing bass with us, Edgar Peterson. And John Peterson, the two brothers. John Peterson, his nickname was Dap. He played lead guitar and sung like Ray Charles and Sam Cooke. Man, God, you could just listen to him play the guitar and sing. Just like we're in the backyard right now, you would want Dap to just you just want him to play. So that's the kind of people I was coming up with.
So your brothers had to earn their spot in the band.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I understand the sibling rivalry that my brother Paul would come up with. The Batiste brothers is separate from David Batiste and the Gladiators, who said they had to stay with me and follow their big brother. And they had different music. They were college taught, man. Paul was taught by Kid Jordan.
Right.
Him and Michael and Peter.
Damn.
They went to Southern University, I learned by listening to the Silver Dollar Bar and sneaking down there with Ratcliffe, you know, listening to the cats play the blues and some of these honky tonks places that we wasn't allowed to go in at 14 and 15, you know. So I had a different school.
It was a street school.
Yeah.
It was a street school.
Funky knuckle school.
Do you remember, like, the first time you asked to sit in with one of these old blues Scrabble cats and you were scared to death, but they let you go on and you sang your ass off?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. That's a good question.
And you know what? I want to say it might be the last one because my memory's getting short on the phone. So go ahead.
That's a good question.
Yeah, baby.
That's a good question.
Because everybody's at that point where they gotta say, hey, man, can I sit in? I don't care if it's Reggie Workman or it's Reginald
Johnny
Houston.
Adams gave me a big opportunity at a place called the ILA Auditorium. We were playing with Pig Meek Markham. Here come the judge. The place was packed because, you know, Pig Meek was a big comedian. And Johnny Adams had a golden voice. They called him the Tan Canary. And he said, so my friend Jimmy, who was the Jefferson Parish Police, Jimmy J, called me up and asked me to come play keyboards because in the ILA you had to have 10 pieces. It was the union musician game.
Right.
So I came and I played, you know, I was with the band. And so I was over there feeling it, man. And Johnny Adams, with that golden voice, man, I was just listening to him sing. Oh my God. And he said, I think we're going to let our keyboard play over that goat.
You didn't say anything. He's like, you try, you do.
Yeah. And I learned to play the piano and organ by watching Jerry Lee Lewis and Little Richard. And I was athletic. Remember, I was a quarterback.
Oh, yeah, dropping dimes.
So I could go down, do a split, pick my leg across the keyboard. You know, I had a portable keyboard. I'd actually lay it down and go to play it. People hollering and screaming at me and everything else. And from that point on, I got so many club gigs for me and my band, David and the Gladiators, thanks to that opportunity that Johnny Adams gave me at the ILA. So I would say it would be him. That was. I've been doing talent shows with my band. You know, that's how I was out there. You know, that's how my name was known out there. You know. Because we had to play our way.
I know, you told me that town you were living in, and there were plenty of badasses in New Orleans. You took down all those cats.
We had to go to town.
I'm sorry, what town was it you were living in?
We had to play off of Elm Street in Little Farms. They call it River Ridge now. We had to play our way into that city of New Orleans, bro, with some of the badasses.
That is a massive...
oh, man, we heard that. You had people like George French playing, man. You had super groups like Oliver and the Rockets. You had the Del Reys. You had the Aubrey twins, the Augustine twins. And these guys had taught musicians behind them like Humphrey Davis and great bands that we would sit back and just marvel. But Russell would learn from his dad.
Yeah.
You never was jealous or envied. You always was inspired. You know, a motherfucker make you inspired to go be better than him. You gonna work harder than him because you are inspired. You're not jealous. You're not envied. You gonna get his ass. You know. So that's how Russell with the drums, man. He would see some of the young, even Ratcliffe. He would see these guys play up close as a child, and he was inspired to play. Remember though, he was a saxophone player.
I also feel like
my brother James bought a saxophone and gave it to my son Russell. So I love my brother James for what he did. He bought that sax and gave it to Russell. And Russell took that saxophone. Yeah, James Batiste.
I feel like as far as a player, you would say that kids that would see him would walk away. Because here's the truth. There are egomaniacs out there. So there are people that after they play, the people that watch them want to go home and quit the instrument. They're so depressed. But then there are the people that inspire you, like Russell.
Yeah.
Russell was an inspirer to the kids that were watching him.
Right, he would watch Zigaboo, he would watch Zig play in the room. I remember I was on Saturday Night Live with the Meters, man.
That's right, 77, 78?
I stayed from 77 to 1980. I met Mick Jagger and the Stones.
This is the best years to be. That is the best years to be with the Meters, man.
We were rocking, man. We will go back and listen to the band. It's a whole different sound. And then when Russell came to the group, I had nothing to do with my son Russell being a part of the Meters.
How'd that happen?
Russell was playing with Charmaine Neville. Zigaboo had decided, this is what I've heard, Zigaboo had decided to leave the Meters. Russell was with Charmaine Neville and them in Paris. The Meters called him and asked him would he come from from Paris and join the group. That was Art Neville, Leo Nocentelli, and George Porter. And then when Zig left, that's who Russell was with them until Leo left. And then Brian Stokes came in, and then they had a name issue. They went from the Meters to the Funky Meters. So that's my information, as far as the information I got on that.
You, final question is, what's your message to your children as well, to be strong and move forward? I feel like when you get hit on the football field, especially back in the day, you didn't have any pads. I'm sure there were times you were like, I can't get back up, and you got back up.
Oh, I got back up, Daddy.
And so what I'm saying is, give me a message of inspiration before we wrap about what Russell would want, what he'd be doing right now if he was here.
Russell would want to do what I did to win our homecoming game when we were down 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
And the principal came in there and screamed at me, Batiste, you're going to let these people come over here and do this to you, and you're the quarterback and everything else. And, you know, I left out of the room. I had smoke coming out of the top of my head. They kicked the ball off to me, and I ran a 67-yard touchdown back. The whole mood of the game changed. I threw my brother Paul a touchdown, and then I ran another touchdown.
Hold on a second. It was you were down 2 scores first half, so you had some time to make up? Yep. This is unbelievable. Then the kickoff return,
for
dimes.
Bunchville Junior High versus John H. Martin.
Well, I'm a voltage cat. I came to plug voltage into my brother, David Batiste, and Russell is here, and the fact that you dropped Reggie Houston's name and George French's name and Kid Jordan's name, the Meters, these are, and yourself, David Batiste, icons of New Orleans music. So much love to you, man. God bless you.
Well, there's more people, you know, because we want to sell my son's music. If you really love Russell Batiste and you really love music, ask somebody if they got a copy of that concert that we did, a tribute to Russell at Tipitino's, that was sold out before Jazz Festival. You couldn't get in there. And what I said to the people is, for 12 seconds, hold your breath for 12 seconds. Because my son was born 12/12/1965. And for 12 seconds, it was absolute silence.
God bless Russell Batiste. This is the Jake Feinberg Show. We'll see you later.